Hey everyone, and welcome to Get Your Hopes Up. I'm Christy, Wright, and I'm so glad you're here. Romans 15:13 says, "May the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace as you trust in him, so that you may overflow with hope by power of the Holy Spirit." Our God is the God of hope, and he wants you to overflow with hope. So let's start our week by getting our hopes up again. Now today, we are talking about how to stop feeling overwhelmed. Sounds good, right? I don't know about you, but I feel overwhelmed all the time. My life is overwhelming. My kids are overwhelming. My business is overwhelming. And my house is certainly overwhelming. The to-do list is unending. And if we're not careful, we will feel scattered and confused and always feeling like we're coming from behind. It's going to steal our enjoyment of the present. And guess what? We're never going to have it all together. So we need to figure this out. Today, we're going to talk about how I plan my day. Planning my day intentionally with a very simple morning routine is what helps me reduce the sense of overwhelm in my life. This is how I cut through the clutter. This is how I start my day focused, and I know what I want to get done most. So let's go back to 2020, not all of the bad parts of 2020, but in 2020, I wrote my book, Take Back Your Time. That book released in the fall of 2021. It became a #1 national best-selling book, and all of this happened right before God called me to leave Ramsey. Well, when I wrote this book, I also had in mind the idea of a sister product, a journal, a planner, something that helped you do practically and tactically what I teach you to do in the book, Take Back Your Time. I created a workbook that went with Take Back Your Time, which you can download at christywright.com if you want that workbook to follow along with the actual book. But I also had in mind a planner. I thought I want to teach them how to have a morning routine that's going to help them feel focused and know what their priorities are. Essentially, I wanted to create a planner that walks you through what I do every single morning to get myself together and plan my day. So I created it. I created a template of this journal and this planner that walked you through a simple morning routine that helps you feel focused and balanced. Tyler Seymour, who was my brand manager at the time, created a mock-up of this himself, printed it at Kinko's, and we printed several copies, got them bound, and I passed them out to different people in our organization to start to just get some research on this idea. I know it works for me, but would it work for a board member? Would it work for a man? Would it work for a young woman that's new in her career? Would it work for all ages and all stages? We passed this out and people started using it. The plan was to release this product on the heels of the Take Back Your Time book. Of course, you know the end of the story. I left Ramsey. That never happened. But when I think back to those months when I was using an actual journal that walked me through these prompts to start my day with focus and clarity and knowing what my priorities are, y'all, I was more balanced and happy and clear and content and focused than any other time in my life. Then fast forward, I leave Ramsey, all of my structure is taken away, and I feel like I am floating. That's the best imagery I could give you. It felt like I was floating in outer space. Now, during this process, I also discovered that I have ADHD. On top of that, I'm working from home, starting a business with 3 little kids. Everything is new, and it just makes me feel like I am a ball in a pinball machine bouncing around uncontrollably. Well, several months ago, I remembered that little journal, that tiny little mock-up we printed at Kinko's for an experiment in research. I thought of that. I thought that little thing made me feel so in control. And it made me feel in control at a time in my life when honestly, I didn't even need it as much as I do now. What if I bring it back? So I started updating the content and working with designers. I created a digital version and I ordered a sample. I started using this thing again myself, and y'all, it has completely transformed my days. These are simple but intentional prompts that get my mind completely cleared from all the chaos and all the clutter, and it helps me come into the present and plan my day. I feel more focused, I feel more calm, I feel more in control and more confident than I ever have in my life. And it's all from a 5-minute morning routine that helps me start my day. So now I am so excited to tell you, I have turned that little mock up and that little dream from years ago into a physical product. My brand new Start Your Day Planner is available as of today. You can go to startyourdayplanner.com to get your copy and get on this system that will transform your mornings and your days. Or if you just want to give it a try, you can download the free digital version to try this system to get a feel for it before you commit and buy the planner. But in today's episode of Get Your Hopes Up, I want to teach you how to do this. I want to teach you how to start your day step by step. And I want to walk you through some of these prompts and why they're so powerful. These 8 steps are very simple, but they're very intentional. I'm going to walk you through these steps so you know how to start your day. And if you want to go to startyourdayplanner.com, you can download the digital sample and you can follow along. You'll see how these prompts lead you through this morning routine. Step 1, write down how you're feeling. Check in with yourself. We often start the day pouring the coffee, rushing and running, and we never even consider how we're feeling. Maybe you had plans to work out today, but last night your baby was sick and you got no sleep. Okay, it's probably time to change your plan for today. Or maybe you didn't think you were going to have any time today, but all of a sudden your meetings were canceled and you've got a ton of margin. You can tackle that to-do list in a way you didn't expect. When you start your day by checking in with yourself, how you're feeling, what's going on, it gives you something so powerful. It gives you context. It gives you context to what is going on right now. Your plan for this day, when you started planning a week ago, may still make sense, but it may not. You may need to change something about it. So start your day by writing down how you're feeling, checking in with yourself, what's going on. This is a short journal prompt to just give you context. If you don't have context and you just set goals and make plans and write out your priorities, you know what that is? It's pressure. And who needs more pressure? Exactly. Start your day by checking in with yourself. Step 1 is to write down how you're feeling. Step 2, write down what you're proud of from the day before. We live in a constant state of being forward focused. It's not bad. It's good to have goals, good to anticipate, good to have dreams and plans and to-do lists. I get it. But if you never stop to write down what you have done, the progress you have made, what you're proud of from the day before, well, then you're constantly feeling like you're coming from behind. You live in a state of lack and discontentment and feeling like you just have more to do all the time. You know what? You're always making more progress than you realize. All you have to do is stop and recognize it. What are you proud of from the day before? Write it down. It might be 1 or 2 things. It might be something really big you accomplished. It might be something really small. It might be something not as measurable, but very significant. Like you had some great quality time with your son, or you took a nap, or you got to reconnect with an old friend. It doesn't have to be big and impressive, but stopping to recognize what you did do is going to build your confidence and help you realize you're always making more progress than you think. So step 2, write down what you're proud of. Step 3, write down what you're grateful for. Gratitude unlocks so many blessings in our life, and it keeps our mind focused on how much we really have. Yes, there's things to do. Yes, there's more things we want. We've got goals we're going after, and there's big things we're praying for. But we never want to lose sight of the prayers that have already been answered, the promises that have already been fulfilled, and the blessings that we've already received. Take a moment and write down what you're grateful for. And then step 4, write down what you're praying for. I love doing this every day because even if you're not a big journaler, writing down 1 or 2 things you're praying for becomes a history book or a log of God's faithfulness in your life. You'll look back at things you were praying about last week or last month or last year and realize how many of your prayers were answered, how many fears never came to pass. The things you worried about didn't even happen. You will begin to see God's faithfulness in your life. Step 4, write down what you're praying for. And as you do, you are surrendering it to the Lord. You're giving it to Him and trusting Him with it. Step 5, write down how you're taking care of yourself today. I'll be honest, y'all, this is the most convicting part of the whole process because there are so many days that I have zero plans to take care of myself. I'm trying to make something up like, well, I did have 2 cups of coffee, not 1. Does that count? Or, oh, I took a little extra long to blow dry my hair. Like, we do so many things for everyone else. We fulfill the tasks, we get the jobs done, we show up for everyone else, and we completely neglect ourselves. It doesn't have to be a pedicure. It doesn't have to be something big or impressive or a spa day, but you need to take care of the person that's making all of this possible. You. How are you taking care of yourself? Maybe you wake up a little extra early. Maybe you go for a walk. Maybe it's something simple like coffee with a friend. But taking care of yourself every day in some small way is important. And this step holds you accountable to that. So step 5, write down how you're taking care of yourself today. Yes, every day. Step 6, write down your top 5 priorities. After you check in with yourself, you write down what you're proud of, what you're grateful for, what you're praying for, and how you're taking care of yourself. Now you're ready at step 6 to write down your priorities. You're going to have a lot more clarity about these priorities and a lot more context as you make those plans. So what are the top 3 to 5 things that you want to focus on today? Write those down and keep your list to 3 to 5 things so you don't get overwhelmed. What do you want to get done most? Write those things down. Step 7, write down other things you might want to do. Let's say by some miracle, your top 5 priorities get done quicker than you expect, which almost never happens, but let's just dream here. What other things would you like to do if there's time? If there's time left over. These are things that are not as important as your top 5 priorities, but you've captured them here in a nice optional list that you can get to if you have time to get around to them. What are some other things you might want to do if there's time left over? Write those down and capture them there. But remember, if you don't get to them, they were always optional and there is no need to beat yourself up if you don't get to them because again, they were optional if there was time left over. And then step 8, write down any reminders. Anything you want to remember. Oh, this is what we're having for dinner, or so-and-so's coming over tomorrow, or don't forget it's dress up day at school. Any reminders that you want to remember, write them down here. Even if they're also in a to-do list or in your calendar, writing them down is going to keep them front of mind for you and help you remember it. In fact, research shows that physically writing with a pen or pencil uses your brain in a way that computers and tablets do not. It activates your brain and helps retention significantly more than typing, which is why this is so powerful. Write down those reminders, even if you have them somewhere else, to imprint them in your brain even more. These 8 steps are the steps I walk you through in my Start Your Day planner. This planner is the sister product of my best-selling book, Take Back Your Time, and it is available today. This simple morning routine will transform how you start your day. And when you transform your days, you transform your life. Here's what some other people have said about my Start Your Day planner. Thank you so much for this invaluable resource. I really appreciate that you're willing to share it with your followers. Another testimonial, awesome planner. At first, I thought it was weird for an 18-year-old guy to use a planner made by a woman, but this is the best planner I've ever used. It's the perfect combo of journaling, prayer, gratitude, and productivity. Thank you, Christy. Here's another one. Used the concepts. I've had a morning routine for a while, but the intentionality of your thought process is mind-blowing. This is going to help me so much. Here's another review. I'm loving the planner. It has helped transform my mornings and my day. I actually look forward to sitting down with it each morning. And one more example, I love this planner. It has really helped transform my mornings, days, and most importantly, my attitude toward the day. These are just a few examples of people that are loving this system. Listen, y'all, life is too short to live it stressed, frazzled, and overwhelmed. The great news is, you don't have to turn your life upside down. You don't have to hire a full-time cleaning crew, and you don't have to send your kids off to college to have some peace in your home and in your mind and in your day. If you want to stop feeling overwhelmed, change how you start your day. When you start your day with a simple morning routine and a system like this, it gives you clarity, focus, confidence, and contentment as you begin your day with peace. Go to startyourdayplanner.com to get your copy of my brand new Start Your Day Planner. Again, you can also download the digital sample if you want to get started and see what it's like. That's startyourdayplanner.com. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for joining me for Get Your Hopes Up. I love hanging out with you every Monday to help you get to know God, get closer to Him, and get your hopes up again. Be sure to share this episode on Instagram and Facebook so other people can get their hopes up as well. And then follow the Christy Wright podcast channel so you never miss a new show. Then I'll see you next Monday for another new episode of Get Your Hopes Up.